Greetings, everyone. Welcome to THL's Hearthcenter, your Tuesday night show bringing you the highlights of quite the week of THL. I'm one of your hosts, Lotus Knight, and I'm joined by my great crew here. First off, to my left, we have Azalea Kari. Azalea, how are you?
I am doing well. How are you doing, sir? Nice to see you.
Nice to see you too. All's great here. We also have Geranium Battle here tonight. Geranium, how are you?
Oh, well, I'm feeling particularly festive and also very happy with some recent Hearthstone current events that happened this past weekend. I don't know if we'll talk about them, but
For sure. We'll get to those, but I want to also ask Chicken. Chicken, how are you doing?
I'm doing great, thanks.
This is our special pre-Christmas Heart Center show, so I'm sure we'll make lots of Christmas puns, and to make it more fun, we'll award the today's host who's able to make the most undetectable Christmas puns. I'll try to count them. Just as a fun mini game for us on this side. But to begin our Christmas show tonight, let's start taking a look at Player of the Week. And I'm going to open with heroes. So, Chicken, who is our hero player of the week?
Our hero player of the week is none other than Pace. Back against the wall in a close week, Pace delivered a reverse sweep upon moving up in position in seeding. Here's to hoping that this pace will continue. Congratulations on player of the week.
Congratulations, Pace, on getting player of the week. Azalea, who's legacy player of the week?
Our legacy player of the week is Epiccat. Who can you count on most when your team is having an absolute catastrophic week? The odds were stacked against APM with a 8-12 score going into the final match. Epiccat went into this match with all the pressure in the world and was able to deliver a clean 3-0 sweep, proving that he's got that dog, or should I say cat, in him. Congratulations to Epiccat for the epic win. Thank you for the write-in. Rocked you.
Congratulations, Epiccat, on your player of the week. Geranium, who's our pro player of the week?
our pro player of the week is none other than Random Dude. This week's player was randomly chosen for a big win in the 1 seed for Cheesemongers United's 15-12 contest with current Black Conference leader Staff of the Four Doves and Owl. Random Dude earned the honor by delivering a strong 3-1 match win to help give his team a 3-point margin on the week. Thank you, Baystink, for that write-up.
Thank you, Baze, for that nice write-up. And finally, Azalea, who's our wild player of the week?
Our wild player of the week is Electric Sheep City. WTF extended their unbeaten run this season with a close 3-2 win this week, with teams tied 11-11. Electric Sheep City clutched out a win in Game 5 to all but secure a playoff spot for his team with 2 weeks to go. And the write-up was done by Bone Masher.
Thank you, Bone Masher.
Congrats to my friend.
Yeah, congratulations, Electric Sheep City, on winning player of the week. Let me ask you all the usual question. If you want to make player of the week, what do you have to do?
Good question.
Okay, well, I mean, if you have to ask, I guess I'll say that you not only want to win, but you want to feature someone who's been doing well. And if you want to feature someone who's been doing well, then go talk to your captain, because your captain will see the form and can submit anything that you as a team player want to put in, or that they want to put in. So if you are knowing someone who just got their first win in a while, or someone who's been winning a lot so far, let us know.
For sure. We are always looking for great submissions, so please let us know if you have a player you think deserves Player of the Week. So with that, should we hop on to Hero?
Absolutely.
Let's
So-
jump in.
All right, so let's open with a hot hero match with F12 Black facing The Last Dance. And I'm going to ask Chicken to tell us about this one.
All right, so taking a look at our first match of the night, as Lotus mentioned, F2L Black versus The Last Dance, Hero, of course. And wait, it's not showing up on the stream?
It's not, it
Okay,
should
there
have.
it is. So it was a 13-10 victory for F2L Black, a pretty narrow decision with actually 3 sweeps, 2 on the side of F2L Black and 1 on the side of The Last Dance. Yeah, so looks like Neji's off to the same start he had last season, starting off with a strong 2-0 and then like losing every week after that. Hopefully for The Last Dance's sake that trend does not continue going forward, but we'll have to see. And, you know, if Diamond keeps winning, he may pass Neji into the 1 seed in Hero this season, just as I did last season. So we'll see how it goes. But yeah, a pretty good look for F2L Black, who was doing quite well up until this point, and still got the win, but a little bit fewer points than they were accustomed to, I suppose. But certainly still looking like the best team in Hero Series to start the season.
It is certainly a hot win, but much tighter than they wanted to, I'm sure. Geranium, what do you have to say about this one?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's pretty interesting, the classes submitted for The Last Dancer. A lot of Death Knight and Tab winning without bringing Paladin and needing to ban Paladin on his own. I don't know if that was a decision to sort of try and scare the opponents because Death Knight has sort of the 2 modes. You can either do the Plague or the Blood, basically.
Yeah.
I mean, it certainly scared Owl to ban Death Knight. So I don't know. Maybe that's something that a strategy that we could see in the future. I mean, with if Paladin gets a little bit weaker, that means Blood Death Knight is also a little bit weaker. So I don't know
Right.
if the Last Prancer is going to continue to bring it.
Fair. Azalea, anything you want to share about this match?
No. I mean, it's a really good win for F12 Black. Last Dance is definitely going to be a strong team all season. They've taken 2. I mean, both their losses look like they've been pretty close. They're at 43 points at 1 and 2. So yeah, good week for F2L, keeping the momentum going.
For sure. Now, for the next match, I'm going to bring it to our APM specialist here, Geranium. Why don't you tell us about a precarious moment facing Overflow out of bounds exception?
Of course, a precarious moment was able to sneak out to eke out a 15-13 close win over Overflow out of bounds exception. I believe it started. Pretty rocky with Wild9 losing Game 5 to Bill Snyder, and then I think shortly after, Bone Masher lost in Game 4 to Rockdew. But then Molestar ended up playing next and won in Game 4 over Always Just in Time. And APM was able to, I guess, clutch up and get some Game 5 wins, Pace winning over Crit Ecal and Epic Cat winning over Roofski. And yeah, this is just about the highest points you can get in a loss. So it doesn't seem that bad for Overflow.
Certainly does not. This is quite the showing for someone who lost, and the teams are just basically tied at this point. Azalea, anything you have to say about this one?
Again, it looks like Death Knight is a pretty favored class by a lot of teams. Most teams are either bringing like no Death Knight or almost everyone's bringing it. And within that, like class wise, seems like a pretty like similar set of classes. There's more warrior from Ogre Flow than from most other teams. But I think this is a good win. Like, it's a good win to get yourself to try and get yourself back in the middle pack in Hero, as we'll see, is very crowded. So, yeah, that's good. It's a good win.
Now, Chicken, I'll ask you, where does this leave us in terms of the standings for Hero?
Yeah, so moving towards the standings in Hero Series, we have F2L Black at the top with 61 points. Then in second place, we have Dad Legend at 53. Then we have 4 teams with 1 more point than the next one below them, a Precarious Moment at 44, The Last Dance at 43, Ogre-Flow Out of Bounds Exception at 42, and Department of League Administration at 41. But not too far behind them is a Premium Mountain in 7th place, and rounding out Hero Series, we have No Noon Too High at 26 points. So yeah, that middle grouping of Hero is pretty crazy close. Only 3 weeks in so far, but sometimes you do see a bit more separation than that. So pretty crazy that the team in second last is 5 points behind the team in third. And that's with them already having played a match this week. So yeah, very, very tight grouping here. And as it is a top 4 cutoff for playoffs, it really still is very much up in the air.
For sure. Still a lot to say for Hero. Any final comments anyone wants to share about Hero before we move into our next match?
I will say that I have heard complaints from some of the teams that like they're a 2-1 team and there's 1-2 teams above them. And yeah, if you look at this, there are 3 1-2 teams above 2-1 teams right now. So a very weird standings.
Yeah, the thing is,
Getting those points and losses.
yeah, the 3 points are not that much. But let's move on to Legacy, where we're going to look at Apase Missing facing the standard THL Degenerates, and Azalea is going to tell us about our tie.
Yeah, let's go. We got a tie. All right. So this is APM, the top team in the Red Conference of Legacy Series, versus Standard THL Degenerates, and it starts. There's 3 sweeps and 2 3-2s, which is perfect recipe for a 12-12. The Memnarch sweeping Chewy. We got Caleb EM getting a 3-2 win over Dr. BOMD. We have F. Srirachi 1 getting a 3-2 win over Electric Sheep City. Risen getting a 3-0 win over Rockdew, and Epicat with that final match win over Saku as a 3-0 to take the week win. Or to get the tie for the week.
Nice. This was quite the week. Just a really interesting match. We don't see ties that often, so it's always fascinating for us when we see them. So let me ask Geranium, anything you want to share about this one?
Yeah, I mean it's a very weird set of matches. A lot of sweeps, and yeah, everything working out. It is interesting to see the Hunters as well come out, but this is just the story of it of standard THL degenerates pretty much always faces the top team, and in this case they're facing the top team in the other conference, and yeah, bottom team facing top team is a tie. That's just how even in strength everyone is right now. Very, very well fought match.
For sure. Should we move on to our legacy match, or does Chicken have anything he wants to say about this one?
Not other than we like ties, and also everyone banned Paladin except for the person who is not against a Paladin.
One did ban Paladin.
But I think there will be less Paladin bans this week.
I would agree.
I mean, there was a good reason to everyone should be banning Paladin.
Yeah.
I mean, it's interesting. Like, Caleb brought Warrior, which could be good against Paladin, and then people bring Blood DK, which could be good against Paladin, and then they just ban it anyways.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is interesting. But yeah, even at like at Worlds this weekend, Paladin performed quite well. And yeah, if it's happening at the highest level, then there's a problem.
And now,
Paladin is not allowed to do well at high ranks.
And Chicken, how do you feel about the allegations that Paladin was a brain dead deck?
Paladin gets like a board clear, like a good board clear once every 4 years, and as soon as they do, it just gets like sniped into oblivion. And the class is back to being one-dimensional garbage, I'm sure. I don't know, this is like, felt like the first time Paladin like was not actually like brain dead garbage. Like it was still not like wasn't super complex or anything, but it did feel like Paladin had something to do other than just kind of spamming onto the board and just hoping for the best.
Fair. Now let's take a look at our second match for Legacy, where we're talking at Defias versus E.T. Cthulhu, and Geranium is going to tell us about that one.
Of course, Defias, which used to be the top of Gold Conference, ended up losing their match to E.T. Cthulhu, 14-10. This came off the back of a very strong start. Don't know the exact order, but Waxstrats got the Game 4 win over the Real Lure. Superhero got a Game 4 win over Nebcanuck, and Jammies ended up taking a sweep over Classy Thug. And then it went to the final two matches. Walkerman versus Eternal happened on stream, and it came down to Walkerman needing to get his Nature Shaman through, and he ended up doing it on the second try. So Game 4 win there, and Truth AM ended up taking a Game 4 win over Lowbrow Low Ladder to make it look a bit closer. But yeah, it was 12-2 at some point in that week. So
yeah. But it says a lot to take the next two to get your points back.
yeah, a lot of Rogue as well is very interesting.
Yeah. Azalea, anything you want to say about this one?
I don't think I have that much to add about this one.
Sure. Chicken, anything you want to add about this match?
Not too much in particular. I think like it is interesting to see a bit more class diversity on the side of E.T. Cthulhu rather than not as much on Defias. Yeah, kind of a weird sprinkling. Like you see, there's like the one mage, the two death knights, a couple warriors in there too. So it seems like even within the team, they kind of had some different ideas as to what strategies would work quite well. And they kind of had some varying success with their different lineups, but overall seemed to work out pretty well for them, taking down a pretty solid team like Defias. I'm curious to see kind of how some of these legacy strategies are gonna play out after the nerfs. Because yeah, some of the, I mean, we don't know what the buffs are just yet, unless I've missed something today. But
No, there was a full patch today.
oh, did they?
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh wait,
Everything
everything's
was
out.
released, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah. Well then, maybe Warlock is a real class now. We'll have to see.
Surely.
But yeah, I'm
Um,
curious to see like if any of the other classes that are seeing like essentially zero play right now rise up a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Especially like the maybe Highlander Priest is maybe a bit more playable with like the legendary getting buffed.
It is
Especially
very
because
minor
Reno
buff.
didn't get nerfed. Seems like Highlander decks are still pretty solid.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And Reno is still around.
Still gross.
Any further things people want to say about this match before we look at the standings? All right, so Geranium, what are the standings for Legacy looking like?
Of course, in the Gold Conference, we have the Last Dance as the last team that has 3 wins to their name at 56 points. Defias right behind them at 49 points. Big W Esports at 46 points. Then we've got 10 Gallon R Hats at 37. Dad Legend at 36. And not far out of it at all, Standard THL Degenerates at 32. Then heading over to the Red Conference. At the top, we've got A Posse Missing, Lost Boys. F2L White is at 43. Oh, A Posse Missing is at 53. I didn't even say that. Okay, Just Pimpin' at 42, just behind F2L White. ET Cthulhu just behind them at 41. Blind Bandits is at 33, or sorry, actually the Stubbs is at 32, and Blind Bandits was at 31 to start the week. They have played a match. In Legacy, now that we're past the first 3 weeks, playoffs is the top 3 teams of each conference, and the top 1 team gets a bye going into playoffs. So, ET Cthulhu being 1 point out is basically like is very dangerous for all the teams in red.
I mean, still with a lot of time to go, I would say there's still a wide range of teams that could make it. Just 2 weeks, 2 good weeks. No one's that far behind that 2 good weeks wouldn't be enough to catch up.
Yeah, and we saw how Heroes standings looked as well, as it started off, sort of people getting further apart, and then, with 1 week, everything collapsed into everyone's 1 point behind each other. So very well could happen in Legacy as well.
For sure. Now, I'm going to move us back to the main screen, where we'll have a little game during the commercial. So the game is, I'm going to name a card, and I want to see if people remember what the card is. So you can think during the commercial to see if you can remember what that card does. And today's card for our minigame is called the Furious Furnace. So while you all think, I believe it is Chicken's turn to read the commercial, am I right? Or has someone not read in a longer time?
I haven't read it in a bit actually. I'd be down to do it this week.
All right, Chicken, take it away.
All right. Yo, 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 yo. Hey there, Twitch viewers. Have you yet decried to Team Hearth League yet? Then yet make today the day to subscribe yourself to our channel. This subscription enables our team to cover the cost of operating our website as well as improve the quality of our streams and content to our viewers. If you have Amazon Prime or Twitch Prime, you can subscribe to the channel for free. Subscribers will get a THL emoticon as well as a normal THL chat badge. So flip that thumbs up button and make sure you catch our streams. We appreciate each and every one of you. Special note to our viewers, check out THL's other social media points of interest. Website, teamhearthleague.com. Follow us on Twitter at THL_HS. Join us on Discord, Team Hearth League. Face us on Hearthstone, Furious Furnace, Hashtag 1/3 magnetic as well as a normal THL chat badge. The true Hearthstone sub-legend rank chicken continues to toast all our videos on our YouTube channel. Just search for Team Hearth League to see everything previously recorded or done. You are better or worse watching us on our Twitch channel or possibly on our YouTube channel yet, and for all you NHL fans out there are THL match shows most days of the weekend. You can't go wrong tuning in at any time for that Hearthstone related content. Now back to the good part. Ka-chow.
Ka-chow indeed. So, retaking from our question, what is the Furious Furnace, chicken? Do you know?
The Furious Furnace. No.
Anyone knows what it is?
Yes.
Yes.
Azalea, go for it.
Spoon mana warrior, 2-mana warrior card, 1/3. It's a magnetic, and it I forget what its effect is.
Ooh. Can I snap it?
It's I feel like it has something to do with armor, but I might be wrong. Or yeah, because it's from Titans. I know that came in last expansion.
I know Geranium already knows the answer. I'll give a hint. It has more to do with Hunter than with Warrior.
Oh really? Oh.
Mean. That's a mean way to put it.
Yes.
So is it that it has to do with dealing damage versus gaining armor?
I mean, it's a very Hunter
it's-
effect.
It's a mechanic that is more common in Hunter than it is in Warrior.
I won't remember it. I see the card a lot when I'm like making a Rage Warrior deck. I'm like re-putting in Rage Warrior in my
Man, this card would be so good with Jormungandr. Wow.
Oh, so good in
Baby
Hunter.
J.
Oh, it gives cleave.
It gives cleave.
Yep.
Oh my. All right, yeah,
That's
that's
definitely
right.
something I
It's
knew.
a mech. It's a mech that gives cleave.
Yeah, it's
That's
the
right.
2-mana 1/30 Warrior Mac. It's a standard card.
It is.
It's great. Everyone plays it all the time.
Sure. Surely.
I'm sure you all know this card very well from all those games which have been decided because of that. But it is a card that exists. Shall we move on to Pro Series?
Get us out here, yeah.
Absolutely.
All right. So moving us into Pro, why don't you, Azalea, tell us about Aussie Pro Mafia facing all possible means?
Right. We've got a battle of the APMs. Aussie Pro Mafia versus all possible means, and this one went to the Mafia. In a 15-9 match win. We have Oddlaw taking a 3-0 over Parallax. We have Yodaddy being beaten by Fisho 3-1 in Game 4. K-Bell with a Game 5 win over Bone Masher. We have Reverb with a 3-1 win over Egg Rollandia. That's a fantastic name. And down in the 5-seed Maxibon getting his first win of the season, 3-0 over Caleb EM.
Nice. That is quite the showing for Aussie Pro Mafia. Geranium, as someone who knows the inner workings of APM, tell us a bit about this match.
I mean, yeah, this is a classic for APM in Pro is winning your match, and this is also a classic for APM in Pro is losing your match. And it's just unfortunate that they had to face each other. But yeah, I mean, not surprised with some of these brings. Maxibon bringing Fire Druid is very funny.
That's a very maxi deck for sure.
Yeah. Egrolandia on the Secret Rogue. An entire expansion after its demise. Its demise was greatly exaggerated. Is what I'll say.
It says Secret Rogue, but it's actually Ogre Rogue.
Yeah, that makes sense. Running a small secret package. And and then yeah, a bunch of nature shamans, which aren't actually nature shamans.
Oh,
But,
it's just Highlander. Yeah, it's weird. It's just like Highlander Shaman decks running.
I
Probably
believe that
because it's running Flash.
Flash. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, so a lot of Reno Shaman there, and then some people actually bringing Nature Shaman. I mean, this is and once again the Earthen Paladin
Oh yeah,
comes
the Earthen
out.
Paladin. Yeah.
Some very very fun.
I was wrong about that deck. Y'all were right. The deck is worse.
Yeah.
If APM has to face APM, they might as well have fun with it, and I think they did.
For sure. In the meanwhile, I want to ask Chicken if they have anything they want to talk about this match.
Yeah. Not too surprising to see APM take this one down. Neither APM team has been off to a great start this season, but it's it is good for APM to get back in the win column, and also tough for APM to take another loss on the season. But yeah. Yeah, not too much more to add. It was certainly, like Max said, some interesting brings on both sides, but it might have been contributed to by the fact that it was two APM teams battling it out. But yeah, both teams have obviously pretty strong lineups. I'm glad to see Fasho, back at it in THL and Pro Series and doing pretty well so far. So, I'm certainly going to be rooting for him going forward. But yeah, just a pretty fun match to see two teams from the same, I guess, larger organization going at it whenever it happens.
Mm-hmm.
For sure. Now, let's take a look at the other pro match that we're featuring tonight, where Chicken is going to tell us about the staff of the 4 Dubs and Owl facing CMU.
All right, taking a look at our second pro match of the night, we have CMU versus staff of the 4 Dubs. Both teams now sitting at a 2-1 record with a very similar amount of points, actually. But it was the Cheesemongers taking the win this week and giving the staff of the 4 Dubs their first loss of the season. Pretty interesting differences in lineups here, with staff of the 4 Dubs all bringing some form of Shaman and Warrior, some bringing in Rage, some bringing Control Warrior, and then a couple Highlander Shamans and the rest Nature Shamans. But yeah, certainly heavily favoring those two classes, with the Cheesemongers seeming to favor Paladin and Druid a bit more. And maybe that's what gave him the edge a little bit. I certainly feel that Druid was a good bit stronger than Warrior in the current meta. And I that's something I would have brought over Warrior myself. But I do think there is some merit to bringing both Warrior archetypes at the moment. I think Control Warrior in particular is one that might see a decent bit more play once the nerfs hit, or like in this newer meta.
Azalea, anything you want to say about this match?
Oh man, it's a super close match. I mean, this to me kind of almost feels like a playoffs, sneak peek. Two teams that, two teams just battling it out, and it did go CMU's way. But I mean, I think that both teams are going to be just fine this season.
Fair.
One thing I'd like to point out is, I know that Flat Earth Druid is very popular. That being a Highlander Druid that runs duplicates.
Any Highlander deck running duplicates.
Yeah, I will say that Owl's Nature Druid is a step above. It is Highlander Druid running 10 duplicates.
Oh, okay, yeah. I've seen this deck
And
before.
that's not Highlander. You're just playing the payoffs for later.
Yeah, I've seen this.
Yeah,
This is fake. This is what is called fake Highlander Druid.
I mean, I don't see the problem. It's just like all of the benefits of Highlander Druid with none of the downsides.
Yeah.
You don't even have to run all these crappy cards anymore. You just have the upside of
Yeah.
like these broken cards. Why doesn't everyone do this?
Surely it's not statistically better to just run all duplicates when you're running a Highlander payoff.
So, with all this said, I want to throw to you, Geranium, for our final standings of the night.
Okay, so in the Black Conference, despite that, Staff of the Four Dubs and Owl stays at the top of the conference with 52 points. F2L is at 46. Aussie Pro Mafia is at 41. Imp Osters is at 32, and AFG Pros is at 19. Then in the Pink Conference, I mean, is it any surprise that the team with a world champion in the 5 seed, Brushy Tuna, is top at 66 points? The last, Blitzen, is at 56. Cheesemongers United is at 51 to start the week. All Possible Means is at 35, and Opportunistic Pro Players is at 26.
Nice.
Yeah, I think Brushy Tuna looked at what APM did last season and said, "Hold my beer." Sitting at 22 points a week, 3 weeks in, 1 match loss, and I mean, and that might even still be getting full points. I don't even know if Pocket lost.
Pocket lost 3-1.
1-3 or 2-3.
3-1.
3-1. Okay.
It's quite the result. We usually don't see this many points per week on week 3. But there's still a lot to go. Just every point matters as we're going into week number 3 of THL. Should we move back to our main screen for our final checkout question?
Absolutely.
So, we always talk about nerfs, and we've already mentioned nerfs a few times. So my question for you this time is buffs. 16 cards were buffed. What is your favorite buffed card? And Chicken, I'll call you last so you have time catching up while the others answer. But I'll start with Geranium. Geranium, what's your favorite buffed card?
Well, I'm gonna say the buffed card that I think is the most slept on, which is Velorok. Velorok, the 3-mana 3/3, that now once you play any single card from another class, becomes a 3/6 with charge, and when it attacks, get a card from another class that costs 3 less. This card with any amount of bouncing back to hand is utterly disgusting, and the fact that now you only need to play a single card instead of 3 cards from other classes is ridiculous. I don't think that this can carry an entire archetype on its own, but I mean, now I think it can be splashed into various archetypes, like maybe even like Miracle Rogue with this. Seems pretty freaking strong. So, yeah.
All right. And Azalea, what is your favorite buff?
Well, Uranium took my answer on that because I was also pretty fond of Velorok being buffed. I am going to say quickly and make sure I have my I'm gonna quickly look. I think I will have to say is it? Buffs. Pip the Potent. That's pretty gross. I think this is a pretty. I think this is a really good card, and I think that having it be 3 mana for 3/3s is gonna help in decks like Naga Mage. I think that, or sorry, Naga Priest. I think that deck's gonna be quite strong with this card. I don't know if it needed the buff, but it's very strong in it. I would say that it would be my favorite as someone who enjoys that deck.
Fair.
As it has been pointed out to me, now on turn 4, instead of just playing Pip, you can now play Pip, and then if you had copied the Thirsty Drifters, you can play them too that turn. It's just stupid.
Yeah, that is.
Yeah, this is. I don't know if this is an okay buff.
We'll see soon. Chicken, what is your favorite buff?
Maybe Popgar the Putrid. I think like reducing the fell spells by 2 versus 1 is a pretty huge deal. And the fact that the barrels of sludge will still cost the same now with their cost increase, so that you can't just like spam 0 mana sludges. But they also do 4 damage now instead of 3. So getting 4 damage off of each sludge is pretty nice. And because you are hoping to play the sludges, or like you're hoping to either play a discounted sludge or just like not have to play it at all. It does seem like it could be a real card at this point, maybe. Probably not, but I do kind of like the idea of like having a bunch of sludges and like using them to discard and like kind of make high tempo plays and stuff with like the 4 mana 7/7 and those other cards.
Yeah.
For the future, Popgar is much scarier at this because reverberations exist, and that's an aura. So if they ever release other foul spells, getting 4 reduction is pretty disgusting. So I don't know. Popgar could be.
Yeah, this could be a problem.
Yeah. I mean,
when has reducing any spell by 4 been a problem? Not to my knowledge.
Never. Any final thoughts anyone want to say before we end our show tonight? All right, I want to take this very special moment to thank Azalea Akari, Geranium Battle, and Super Chicken for joining me tonight. We have more shows incoming. We have some special things coming in next year. Can't wait for you all to see everything that's incoming in THL. It's going to be a great year, but for now, I want to take this moment to wish you all a great week. Merry Christmas, everyone, or Happy Holidays for whatever you're celebrating. And we will see you all for our next show. Next week, I believe we have a show. Technically, we have a show on Tuesday. We'll discuss whether we're doing it or not, or whether we'll do it the week after. But I want to wish everyone a good night. We'll see you all later. Bye, everyone.
Yeah, don't forget that Tuesday is a Canadian holiday next week, so you'll be paying me extra.
Wait, you get paid?
Oh, bye everyone.
Happy holidays.